Greetings and salutations, fellow Homo sapiens. Will here with a very, very long instance. This is the huge instance that is Uldaman. Oh my god. Okay, so basically, in order to keep this down to 15 minutes, I've had to do some huge editing. So it's going to be pretty much a boss by boss run with screenshots of the map on the routes which we take. So enjoy this. So basically the mobs that you're going to be fighting is trogs. Lots and lots of trogs. If you don't like fighting trogs, play another game because this is what you're going to be doing. They're everywhere. They're like rabbits. But either way, they're fine, you know. It's if you're going to kill something, it might as well be trogs. So we're just moseying on through. You know, keeping the old renew up on people, spamming the heals, everything's hunky-dory. So basically this is the route I've taken around here, down into this first cave. I say cave because it doesn't really narrow it down, considering this place, the entire place is a huge cave. But regardless, more trogs. So basically, yeah, it's all hunky-dory. I mean, this place is pretty much a cave, but it's not really like Ragefire Chasm. It's not that bad, but it's still not very good looking. Anyway, this is coming up to the first boss, I say, but I think this boss is only available if you're Horde, which is nice. It makes a change. Most things are only available for the Alliance. So I just run through here thinking I'm still Alliance, and I'm not, and I aggro all these three dwarves. Now, bit of trivia, these three dwarves are actually inspired by the other Blizzard game, Lost Vikings, which was an amazing game. I played that years ago. Oh, it was such a great puzzle game. I would love to try and get that back on like a iPhone app or I know somewhere. But they don't really do that much per se, but there is three of them, so do be careful. Basically, they act like the characters from that game. One has a shield, one has a sword and a bow, one runs really fast. The best part is each one of them drops a blue item. So for this like one little event boss thing, you get 3 blue items. It's really good. The first one obviously drops his shield, which is very, very nice. The other one drops his sword, also cool. And this other one refuses to stay still. His name's Eric the Swift, and my god, he earns that name. He just runs around like a crazy bastard. And yeah, it's so irritating. It's like, keep still, just die. You're wasting our time. This place is just too big as it is without you wasting our time. But inevitably it does eventually go down, and obviously, since he's Eric the Swift, you get boots and a recipe, which is always good. Anyway, this is the route we take now, up towards the second boss. The second boss being just basically a named large troll. Another bit of trivia, originally in Uldaman, what you had to do was pick up an item from a chest around those dwarves, and an item from this boss, and put them together in order to summon the third boss. However, the item from this guy didn't always drop, so sometimes you couldn't do a third boss, which is just silly, really, really dumb. I liked the idea of getting the items and summoning the next boss, but regardless, it was still irritating. Like I said, lots and lots of trogs. This guy all he really does is a bit of chain lining, mind blast, a lot of magic-y attacks. You know, nothing really can't handle. And he drops those braces. Absolutely useless to me. So just mosey on forward, killing all trogs. You see that little thing on this thing here? All you do is click that, and that begins the event which summons the next boss. So while that's summoning, we're just killing all the trogs in the surrounding area, because it takes a fair while for the woman to actually appear. But it's still cool to watch. So yeah, just moseying on through. You fight a lot of trogs and dwarves. Oh, dwarves are awesome. I love killing dwarves, and I love being dwarves. I love the Dark Iron clan. I think if I was a dwarf, I'd be Dark Iron. I'd be a good Dark Iron though. Anyway, that's the second boss, large lady with a hammer. I think that's her full title. Basically, to earn that title, all she had to do was be a be a large woman, and own a hammer. It's fairly interesting. So we've got a lot of trogs and the boss, and as you can see, the tank's taking damage, but not that much. It's just very irritating how face roll this content is. It's not like ridiculously easy, but it's still meh. You still need to tank and spank, but I mean, you see there the druid has actually pulled aggro and is actually taking a fair bit of damage. So if your one is the right spec and stuff, then it's anything's easy really, even heroics later on. So the boss has a lot of health and our DPS isn't too great, which is very irritating. I'm tracking healing done rather than damage this time on recounts, which I don't really see the point of now, come to think of it. It's not like anyone's going to beat me. Anyway, they dropped those. I can't see them because of stupid Windows Movie Maker. I don't know what they are. I think they're legs of some description. Anyway, the quest gets completed and you get the quest for the next boss, which is nice. It would make, as you can see, we go absolutely huge long way around in order to get to the fourth boss, which is this large construct sentinel thing. Basically, there's two of these, one white, one black, and both of them drop quest items. So you basically do need to kill both of them to get the quest done, which is, yeah, fair play. All he really does is summon these whirlwindy things, which walk around damaging people, but don't actually do that much. And then they also knocked me on my face, apparently, which I completely forgot about. So everyone's there beating him up, and I'm chucking the whole renew on people because there is actually a bit of damage going about, but nothing too hectic. But at least it keeps me happy, keeps me busy. I like healing things. I don't like standing around doing nothing. It's fair dull, obviously. If I wanted to stand around doing nothing, I'd go to work. Yeah. So just look out for the whirlwind things and kill it. Shimples, I think he's got some ads. I don't know if those ads come with him or if we just pulled them as well. But our DPS just seems incredibly slow. It's just, it just took a bit too long. Anyway, I think that's, I think I got some rep. I'm not sure with what. I think the trolls, so I can get the bag. I've been wearing tabards of bags and stuff. Anyway, make our way through that way, back the way we came, back up to the other construct, the black one. Like I said, I've been wearing the tabards to make sure I've been getting rep in instances. Once I got exalted with Undercity, I put on the Darkspear Troll one, which I got up to Revere to get the 16 slot bag, and then immediately switched to the Ogrimmar one and vice versa. There we go, I've just noticed he has a spell reflect. Be very, very wary of spell reflect mechanics. Oh, they're horrible. It's so irritating. Basically, it's like, more big channel spell, back in your face, death. Oh well, can't really complain, it's a nice mechanic. Anyway, killing the Darkine Dwarves before we loot. I don't think this boss actually drops anything, but he does drop a quest item, so if you want to get all the quests done, you're going to have to come and kill it. Simple as. Which is meh. So, loot the quest item and mosey on through. So we'll make our way up through the left hand side, all the way up towards the Dark Iron boss. As you can tell, he's a Dark Iron Dwarf. By Thorazon's beard! I did the voice acting for this boss, as you can tell. I also did the voice of Ragnaros. By poppies be yearned! No. Damn it, I always get that line wrong. Anyway. I'm such a tool. This boss does actually seem to do a fair bit of damage. Either he does a fair bit of damage, or him and these 12 ads do a lot of damage. Oh dear me. It's the only way you can actually entertain yourself is by pulling about 6 million mobs at the same time. But hey, if you want to make your own difficulty, you might as well. Also, in case you didn't know, the one with the skull on his head is the boss. It's the only one there. Oh dear me. So he drops that, so I can't see it. It just looks a bit blurry. I don't know if I've explained this, but Windows Movie Maker has a tendency to be murky and horrible whenever I'm editing, so I can't actually see anything properly. I can see vaguely, but it's hard to see actual specific items. Either way, this is the next boss. It's basically a large trog and a basilisk pet. He is the king of the trogs, apparently. You wouldn't think it, considering his tiny smallness. He's relatively simple. I think he casts like lightning bolts and stuff, and his pet just falls down, which is a bit meh, a bit cruel really. There's no point having the pet if it just falls down straight away. But yeah, a bit of chain lightning. Look out for the chain lightning mechanic later on in the game, not right now, because it has a tendency to increase damage per jump, which is a bit scary. Pole arm drops, nice hunter weapon, looks pretty shiny, but it's obviously of no use to me. So now this is the last part, make our way all the way down here, up towards this little event. In the trash, basically, what I've skipped, it's only like basilisks and bats and scorpions and stuff. The only ones for a caster you really have to look out for is the bats, because they do an AoE silence, so keep out of melee range of those when fighting them, and everything should be hunky-dory. So this little event, when you start it by clicking the altar in the middle, basically summons one of these constructs, and as soon as one dies, another one comes alive like straight away. Also, whenever one of them dies, they blow up and hit everybody around them, so do look out for a bit of AoE healing to keep people up, which is, it's great. I like this little event. Shame you don't actually get anything for it besides the door opening, but it's still pretty cool, and you get a bit of it boosted XP for killing large mobs and stuff, so it's all gravy. So basically this instance is fair dull, apart from towards the end when it gets a bit interesting. But there is a lot of bosses in here, as you've seen, so it's definitely worth doing because you're bound to get something. Unless you're me, of course, because I don't think I actually got anything in this run, which is fair irritating. So basically there's gonna be no more editing now, because, well, I've managed to get it down to 15 minutes. So you fight all these dwarves. Well, they're not technically not dwarves, they're earthen, which is like for lack of a better word, unevolved dwarves. I'm going to go on a bit of history lesson here for the lore of the dwarves. Basically, the Titans are like big god things. They created the world, Azeroth, and they used earthen to do that, which is obviously what we're fighting now. They're like servants. And something happened, I don't know. I think it's explained in Halls of Stone. Yeah, in Halls of Stone, and it's explained that somehow the earthen get zapped with this thing called the Curse of Flesh, which makes them obviously flesh-like and into dwarves. And that is where the dwarves came from. I like that. It's very cool. Similar thing to do with gnomes, because they were like mechanical, like constructs, mecha gnomes, and they got the Curse of Flesh as well and became gnomes, which is cool. I like that. I do like a bit of lore, especially if it's about dwarves, because I have a bit of a dwarf love, I'm going to say. Pretty much all my characters are dwarves, apart from this one, really, because, well, I wanted it to be Horde, and I chose Blood Elf because, well, why not? Who was that without a troll? And why didn't I choose a troll? Oh, I want this character to be a troll now. Trolls are cool. Anyway, this is the end boss, Archimedes, I think, Archimedes, or I don't know, something to do with A ending E's, which is like a lot of bosses, really. Similar to that other event, when she clicked the statue, it starts, and he's basically large man with a hammer, as opposed to large woman with a hammer we fought earlier. Basically, he'll hit the tank as normal, but through small intervals in the fights, he will turn some of these statues alive, and they'll come and attack you. So basically, the longer the fight, the more statues you have. But at the moment, obviously, we're all boosted in power because of power creep and whatnot. If things die insanely quickly. But either way, this group is actually fair low on damage, so it does last a fair while. So look out for the ads, really. If you're the tank, just make sure you're thunderclapping and whatnot, picking them up, make sure they're not going for me. I will, if the healer's competent, they'll use the aggro dropping abilities like Fade and whatnot to make sure they don't attack them. But the longer the fight, the more chance you've got of getting these mobs, which are large elite ones, which are definitely you don't want on you, because it'll just increase the damage by truckload. But that's it. That's the boss down. And he has a chance of dropping a ring with random stats on, which is fair nice if you get it. Obviously, if you get the stats you want. But basically, there's a chest also that you open, and there's 3 green items, which is lovely, lovely jubbly. There's also the end quest, which you get these discs here, which are like the relics, the treasure of Uldaman. So basically, you pick the quest up and talk to this guy, and what you have to do is just read the story, and I'll skip that for you. And then you hand the quest in, and then you basically go back to the beginning and hand it in at the Blood Elf guy, and everything's hunky-dory. And unfortunately, I've lost the footage of me saying goodbye, so I'll obviously say goodbye now. See you later, guys. It's been fun, and I'll see you next time. Love you. Bye.